I'm just going to ask you point blank. Did you kill Katie?
No.
Okay. Do you know who killed her?
No.
Am I being charged with a crime? Because he's recording me, and I'm not comfortable with that.
No.
And if I am, I'd like to contact a lawyer. Because this is uncomfortable.
Okay. Have you ever, and it would probably jokingly, I would assume, made a statement to any of your friends about wanting to kill Katie?
No.
Ever said, well, if Katie dies, we'll get some money, or we'll have money to do anything with?
No.
Okay. Have you ever gone up to any friends and said, hey, would you do me a favor and take my car, take my keys, my debit card, my phone, and go away for the weekend to Charleston, say, and that'll make it look like I'm out of town so I can kill Katie?
No.
Okay. So if somebody told us that, they're making that up?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
That's the same type of shit that's been coming out of her family's mouth for the last fucking 2 weeks. And I'm getting kind of sick of it because I don't feel safe in my house anymore. There's cars parked out front of my house during the nighttime. And I know I got PTSD and I know I'm fucking watching them, but there's cars parked out front of my house. There's people driving by. And that's the type of shit, that's the narrative right there that's going to get me fucking in trouble with some crazy motherfucker driving down and shooting up my house in the middle of the night. Or somebody called my fucking ex-wife yesterday.
John Blauvelt has made comments about his desire to kill the victim and his plan to hide her body in the house located. The affiant also has recorded statements from witnesses who say John Blauvelt had approached them and offered them monetary compensation for assisting him in murdering the victim and offering him an alibi by using his cell phone, debit cards, and vehicle in another city to make it appear as if he was not in the area at the time of the victim's death. The affiant has also compiled police reports from the Fountain Police Department that showed John Blauvelt was arrested in February 2016 for domestic violence first degree, where he was alleged to have pointed a gun at the victim. John Blauvelt had a pending criminal charge that, if he was found guilty, would most likely result in his discharge from the U.S. Army, where he's employed full-time. Blauvelt has made statements to multiple persons about the existence of a life insurance policy he holds on the victim for between $100,000 and $150,000, in which he is the beneficiary. The affiant has obtained recorded statements from witnesses that state the victim's vehicle was driven to the residence of John Blauvelt. This is the day the victim disappeared and was last seen alive. Having heard the affidavits and the evidence that is mentioned in those, do you want, is there anything you want to say?
No, sir.
Okay.
On October the 25th of 2016, a frantic mother walks into the Simpsonville Police Department in regards to her missing daughter, Catherine Boyer, who she had not heard from since the night before. Catherine and her husband John Blauvelt shared a home up until their divorce agreement settled. But her mother knew they were not getting along and had a gut feeling something was not right. 7 months prior, Catherine had got John demoted from his position at the United States military for a domestic battery charge, and the courts even issued a restraining order against John. Catherine's employer was contacted, but they explained she had not shown up for work. As officers gather more information, approximately 2 days after, dispatch received a call which turned out to be Catherine's close friend, who had discovered her body in an abandoned home underneath some floorboards that was disturbingly hidden. Her friend explained that she and Catherine would explore that house as teenagers, and curiosity made her check. Forensics soon confirmed it was 22-year-old Catherine. This is the interview and interrogation of her estranged ex-husband John Blauvelt. Investigators begin by breaking the news to John about the tragic death of Catherine.
Friday or Saturday morning.
Katie was tragically found stabbed to death with the blade of the knife still in her neck.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What was your conversation about?
The dog, John Jupiter. She wanted his shit. She wanted his medical records and his dog bowl, and I told her basically to go f*** herself, because what is she not supposed to be? We're supposed to be talking. We have a restraining order.
Okay. This conversation is gonna get a little personal, brother. We'll go ahead and just put it out there. What the restraining order deal? What's the deal with that?
That's because a charge back that I got back in February, 28 or 27, end of February, domestic violence first degree. That she charged me with.
Okay.
And then obviously when that happens, the state issues a restraining order.
Right.
And it's just never. I mean, the Fountain Inn told us that we can't lift it until my court is
It's done.
has a disposition. Yeah.
Okay. What has anything ever like that ever happened before? Have you guys ever had any big issues like that in the past?
I mean, we were the worst couple. You know, we argued a lot, but I think it was just bad timing, honestly, because she was going through some shit, and I was going through some shit, and she just left one day. It was like a Tuesday, and then she came back Friday with all the entire Fountain Inn Police Department, and it was a pretty big scene. It was like a 4-hour thing.
Okay.
And then, I mean, fuck it, I'll tell you, but after that, we talked or whatever still,
Right.
and we still saw each other pretty often.
When was the last time you actually saw her?
I'd say probably July,
Okay.
because she moved out in April, I think. She like stopped 100% coming over like in April, and then we talked on and off. Mostly she just wanted to see the dog and shit, so she would come over with her dog,
Okay.
Jupiter, and she'd see Marley for a little bit, but we couldn't really connect again.
Right.
It wasn't really working, so she just kind of.
Do you know if she had any issues with anybody? Anybody that wouldn't hurt her or anything like that?
No, and I know that she's been dating around, and it's whatever, because I've been too, but I just know she's been dating around. I talked to Cheyenne, and she said she was fine. She had I guess this guy that she's, I don't know if they're in a relationship or not, but this one guy that she's with who's pretty cool with her.
Do you know who that guy is?
I just know his first name is Zach. I don't know. I think he's a good family friend. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't really delve into her personal shit anymore because it kind of hurts. But
Okay. Alright.
Do you know there's a guy that used to live with you, redheaded fella?
redhead
Yeah.
Wayne.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's his story?
Just regular dude, good guy.
Friends with him.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we had a falling out too, but that's because and he got in a car accident like 4 months ago, jacked his arm all up, and then he was staying with me rent free because he was down on his luck. He didn't have nowhere to go, so I told him, shit, I got a bedroom, and then he just kind of left one day with some girl, and we kind of had a falling out. I'd probably seen like 4 or 5 times after that. But Wayne's always been a good dude. He's got a good heart.
Okay.
He's a really good guy.
What are your normal hours here at work?
It's supposed to be 9 to 5, but most days I get out around 2 or 3. Always 9, but it really depends on when they leave. And then
Who's your supervisor?
Captain Dines, Marcus, like he just left. I bet he'll be back in 10, 15 minutes.
You say Dines?
Yeah, Dines. And then first sergeant Goad. Dave.
Did you work this Monday?
Mm-hmm.
What time did you get off Monday?
Like 2:30ish, 2. I don't know, cause they left on Monday to Easley, or
Who's
think-
they?
the first sergeant and the commander. They go out to all the recruiting centers. I know he didn't go today because he took his personal car just now. But I just hung out here with Judy for a little bit and talked to her.
Where'd you go after work?
Home.
What car do you drive?
The Prius,
Prius.
gold.
Did you stop anywhere on the way home?
No.
Was anybody home with you?
When I got home, yeah, my roommates were there, and
Tell me who your roommates are, if you don't mind.
Crystal Gordo, Gorto, and Brandon Tucker. But they will be home. They normally get home around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Brandon gets home a little bit earlier than that. And also Hannah Thompson. She's actually the one who took me home from work here. I'm excited to bring her this old something.
And like Gary said, I don't really care about the restraining order issue.
I mean,
I know people still talk when they're not supposed to and still see each other. That's just human nature.
Yeah.
Did you see her on Monday? Not at all.
No, the last time I talked to her was on Friday about the bowl.
But you didn't physically see her on Monday?
Mm-hmm.
Did you talk to her at all?
On Monday, no.
Do you have any text messages in your phone between the two of you?
Yeah. I don't know how many times she's... The last text I have is October 6th, and I texted her the other morning. But, I mean, all those unsaved numbers is her. So...
Let me ask you this. Did you ride around Cheyenne last night looking for her? Where'd y'all go?
Fuck. It was an address on Scuffletown. Yeah, they said that they got an address, and we just went and knocked on the door and said, "Do you know Katie Boyer? Have you seen her?" And the dude didn't even answer the door. We just talked through the door.
Continue along this road.
We just left out after that. We went back to my house.
Let me ask you this. Why were you looking for Katie?
For Cheyenne. Cheyenne's fucking destroyed right now, and I'm just trying to help her out. Because, I mean, me and Cheyenne are best friends.
Oh, you are?
And me and Katie ain't the best to each other, but still married to her. And I mean, really just for Cheyenne.
Who do you know that will want to do harm to her?
Not nobody. I mean, I really haven't been intimately talking to Katie since June or July. I want to say the end of July just because it makes it sooner, but I can't think of nobody that would actually want to do anything to her because she's just average, quiet. Like, she doesn't she talks shit, but she doesn't talk that kind of shit. And then
She ever come by your house at all, maybe to see you?
a couple times, yeah.
When was that?
I mean, that wasn't since back in the day. She came by the other day. Crystal told me she came by the other day because Crystal got a new kitten and she wanted to come see it. But I wasn't home. She came by and saw this cat or whatever and then played with my dog and then left.
Have you ever gotten so mad at her that maybe you did something you didn't mean to do?
No, absolutely not. I used to have a drinking problem, so I used to get pretty mad, and we used to have like yelling matches and shit. But she has some lungs on her, so we could go back and forth all night. But I hadn't drank in 2 months now, just because I'm trying to turn my shit around. I don't know when this court date's coming up for me with this domestic violence, and I don't want to be lost, when it hits. So I've just been trying to turn my shit around.
What do you do for the Army?
Well, right now I just sit in this office, small office right now. Because of the civil investigation, all of my recruiting duties have been suspended. So I've literally been sitting here since about March.
What do they have you do during the day? Just office type stuff?
Playing on the phone. Today I'm supposed to drive to Fort Jackson because I had a mental health assessment because it's part of the chaptering process. And then take this kind of crap down there. I was supposed to take some tablets down there. But nothing real, no real work.
Gotcha.
Cheyenne, what's her relationship to your wife?
That's her niece.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are they as close as you and Cheyenne are?
They used to be, and I think they were getting back to it. Cheyenne was pretty mad at her for a long time about this shit that went down in March.
Right.
Because she was living with us at the time.
Okay. Would she talk to Cheyenne about anybody she was seeing or any issues that she may have been
I think so, yeah. Because Cheyenne told me last night that she's, Cheyenne told me shit last night about Katie that I didn't know. Like, she's been dating around and stuff like that. So I know that they were talking like that. They were.
And Cheyenne hadn't mentioned anything to you about any issues that she may have been having?
Cheyenne called me at 1:30 in the morning and was like, "Have you seen Katie?" And I was like, "What the fuck? Go away. Like, I'm asleep." And then the next morning I wake up and she's blowing my phone up. And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And so that's when we kind of started getting concerned. and that's when we started looking. I guess.
Are you familiar with this abandoned house?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the spot. That's like
What's the
the
spot?
hangout spot.
How come?
I don't know. I guess because Cheyenne and her friends found it, and then they have to, being teenagers, they gotta do the coolest thing they can imagine. So I guess that's hanging out at this abandoned house, and then they I've been there a couple times. So
When was the last time you were there?
probably I don't know.
Like a week ago, a month ago?
It's been months. If anything, it's been months. Am I being charged with a crime? Because he's recording me, and I'm not comfortable with that.
No,
And if I am, I'd like to contact a lawyer. Because this is uncomfortable.
Okay.
you're not being charged
Okay.
with a crime right now.
I know, I just want to cooperate with that,
This brother is a death notification, and that's the big reason I'm here.
My fucking, I'm shook right
Beginning
now.
of this conversation, I understand. Beginning of the conversation where I told you that we investigate every death or
Yeah,
anything except a natural death we investigate as a homicide until we can prove otherwise.
right.
That's the reason why that we all are here. Our conversation here is more for trying to figure out just kind of a time frame and put together a frame of what happened.
Right.
The questions we had, obviously, put it out there, bro. Y'all are in the middle of a nasty divorce.
Right. I know. And I've seen the shit her mom's been saying about me on Facebook too.
And, that doesn't hold any weight with us one way or another.
I hope not.
We have a job to do, and that's all we're doing. Him recording you is nothing to put you on blast or anything like that.
Okay.
It's totally for our benefit, okay?
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm asking for.
Our job is to find out
What happened?
who killed her and bring them to justice. So we're not looking to do anything to you. We'll be here for you because yours,
And
regardless of your marital status, you still have feelings for her.
I wanted to call and ask if I could get an update, but with her mom and shit like that, I don't want to.
I know.
I don't even want to be around. Like, I don't want to accidentally be there at the same time her mom shows up.
Alright.
If she f***ed me in the face or something, because that's shit that she was saying about me, like, had me nervous. So
When you earlier you were saying that the house, the abandoned house, was the kind of hangout spot.
Mhm.
To your knowledge, who all that knew both of you guys hung out there on the regular?
Probably Cheyenne. Now I don't know how often they go there now.
Okay.
Because Cheyenne's number one got put in jail, so she's been kind of on the low.
Okay.
So she hasn't been really going out as much. But Cheyenne for sure. And then probably Cheyenne's group of friends.
What was the redhead's guy's name? Michael, was it?
No, that's Wayne.
Wayne.
Franklin.
Wayne is one of the individuals who hang out at this house a good bit?
Yeah, me and him been there together. We actually spent a night there together.
Okay. All right.
Probably last March.
That's March. Okay. Anybody else that would be affiliated with Wayne and you, or Wayne and her, that would?
We all had pretty much the same group of friends, because most of the people I met, I'm not from here, so most of the people I met down here were through Cheyenne
Okay.
and Katie. So, if it's my friend, is more than likely it was already Cheyenne's friend.
When was the last time you talked to Wayne?
I think he was at my house like 2 or 3 months ago.
Okay.
But I hadn't talked to Wayne since then, because, like I said, we just kind of went our separate ways.
Has Wayne and your wife, were they pretty good friends, or?
They used to date back before we met, and I think, it's speculation, but I think they hooked up a couple of times since me and her separated in March.
Okay.
So I don't know if they were dating necessarily,
Right.
but I know that they were kind of closer than friends.
Okay.
So
And that's never been an issue with you.
I don't give a damn, man. She flipped my life upside down. So when she was like, we're done. I was like, great, dude. Stop contacting me. Like, we're done. Cool. And since then, I've just moved on, and she just moved on. So I got no bad blood against Wayne. I'm pretty sure they were dating, and he was in my house, like, chilling with me. So, and it didn't, and I knew. But I'm not the kind of guy that gives it crap, because live and let live, move on, find somebody new.
Understand that.
When you work here, do you guys clock in and out, or is it just kind of casual?
No, you just walk in.
Pop in, pop
Yeah.
out. If you want to go run errands, you go take care of it.
Yeah. It's nothing major, because I was supposed to go to Greenville just now and get them tablets, but it's not like they're never too official with me, because I kind of just hear.
Right, you're not really assigned to them.
Yeah, they trust me to just sit here and be quiet, so, yeah. Notes sometimes for meetings.
Gotta be bored to death.
Yeah.
Only so much Facebook and news you can watch.
Sir.
I got so many people on my Facebook just from sitting here. Just keep adding them, just to watch that drama.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I play a lot of games on my phone, but it's not too bad.
How long you been in the Army?
Coming up on 10 years in January.
All right.
Yeah, but I'm done. I mean, I'm getting out.
You used to recruit there on Fairview Road,
Mm-hmm.
and then Pelham.
Never on Bell. I was always down there. I just came up here after the civil charges.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've recruited from Malden High School all the way down to Clinton High School, and out to Woodlawn.
You got anything else?
I think I'm good. We will just kind of let you know where we're going as far as with her from here. We'll do an autopsy today. We will have, I'm about 99% sure we'll have a manner of death today. I can't say that about the cause. It just depends on what we see. Okay. You are her legal next of kin. You guys are still legally married. You're
Right.
legal next of kin. Within the same token, her mom, morally, right thing to do would be to allow me to discuss anything with her
Right. Yeah.
about this death.
Yeah.
Legally, I have to get your permission to do that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So we'll definitely stay in contact with you. We'll definitely stay in contact with you. I'll let you know where we're at. Okay. Funeral home and things like that. That's something that's going to come up. Obviously, the way the situation is, as far as you guys' marital status, if that's something that you wanted her family to do, you're more than glad to deal with them on that side of it also. That's no problem at all. You just let me know.
I mean, I want to do it myself, you know what I mean? But it would just be me if I was doing it. So I know they won't be involved, but they can do whatever they need to do. I'll just try to fucking show up, I guess. But legally, they can do whatever they need to do, because I know they don't want anything to do with me.
So I'll touch bases with her, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah.
And right now, man, like I said, this investigation has to pan out. I'm sure that we'll speak again, maybe about some just her lifestyle. There's me and another deputy coroner who are working this case together, along with the Simpsonville Police, Graham County Sheriff's Office, a little bit involved also. So there'll probably be some more questions that'll come up, and we'll contact you.
Okay. Yeah.
Sit down with you again, okay? More craft, everything else.
Good.
And I don't do shit. I'm just home, so
Okay, that's cool.
I don't do shit.
We had to come to your work, but we had to contact
It's okay.
you.
Yeah. It was.
After investigators gathered more incriminating evidence about John, including speaking to multiple witnesses, it was time to finally confront the 10-year veteran about the allegations.
We hadn't really had a chance to sit down. I know I talked to you that day when we notified you about her death.
Yeah.
And things are kind of emotional and everything. So we're still working the case, obviously, and trying to figure out who killed her. We've talked to a bunch of people. We wanted to give you some time to grieve and, do what you need to do mentally before we brought you in here. But we would like to ask you some questions that maybe you can give us an answer, what we're looking for. So with that in mind, are you willing to talk to us today?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. what I have to do is read your rights. We've been doing that with everybody we've been talking to because, anybody could potentially be a suspect.
Right.
So with that in mind, right now, are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol?
No.
All right, John, what I can do is give you this identical form that I'm reading. It's just your rights. It's kind of like you've seen on TV and stuff before. I know you've had some previous minor run-ins with the law. All I can tell you is keep an open mind. We're going to treat you fairly and respectfully,
Okay.
and just ask for your cooperation and honesty. So try not to let these past instances, jade you or anything like that. Okay. All right, starting at the top. Before we ask you any questions, you must understand your rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before we ask you any questions and have him with you during questioning. If you have no money to pay a lawyer's fee, the court will appoint one to represent you without cost if you wish. If you decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you will still have the right to stop answering at any time. You also have the right to stop answering at any time until you talk to a lawyer. You understand those rights? Okay. So I understand you've been deployed twice?
Yes.
Iraq or?
Yeah.
How long were the deployments? The usual year?
12 years. Or 12 months. 12 years.
When was the last time you got back?
2010.
So where in Iraq were you?
The first time I was down south, near Nasiriyah was the main city, and that was like 200 miles south of Baghdad. And then the second time I was up north at Kirkuk City. Well, we were in Kirkuk City, and that was like 100 miles north of Baghdad.
You were a tanker?
Mm-hmm.
So you actually drove the tank, or you?
No, we were on Humvees and dismounted. We didn't take tanks.
Okay. So you were like patrols and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
So where would you go do most of your recruiting? Schools,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that?
Yeah, everything from Malden down to Clinton, out to Woodmont, all the schools in between.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of cold calls, a lot of just calling. Really? Mm-hmm. We get the list every year from the high schools of all the seniors, and we just gotta call them.
Wow.
Pain.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Horrible.
Not nearly as exciting as Iraq and stuff.
Mm-mm.
I appreciate your service. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
You
all right. Had a good time.
I'm sure you got some memories, good and bad, and in between. But from what I understand, you make some really good friends through the military.
Yeah.
Like I said to you before, we just want to get some background information and kind of paint a picture of what we have going on.
Okay.
Just kind of tell me about when you guys met, and how you met. And
She worked at the firehouse. Do you know where the recruiting station is? She worked at the firehouse right next door.
Okay.
So I was going through some crap with my current marriage. We were kind of on the way out of that marriage. So me and her just kind of met and started dating. I was still living with my wife at the time, and she was dating her boyfriend, and I was dating my girlfriend. So it was kind of a funny situation. I was staying at her house most days during the week at her dad's house, and then we finally got an apartment in December of 2014, I guess it was. Yeah, so that's kind of how we met. We just, we both smoked cigarettes at the time, so we just went out and smoked.
Okay. Yeah.
You just meet people through smoke breaks.
And you got married in what year?
2015.
Okay. And so I know obviously about the incident that happened between you guys allegedly in January, and then she didn't file a report till February.
February, yeah.
What made her file a report a month later about something that?
That was just kind of her personality.
Just get back at you for something she pissed, or?
That was her personality. When she got mad about something, she would act extremely childish until she got her way, and if she didn't get her way, she would just escalate until she got her way.
And they believed her about something that happened a month before?
I got arrested for it.
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of strange.
Whether or not they believed her, I still went away in handcuffs, and I still had to get bailed out of the county. And
yeah.
So whether or not they believed her, there wasn't no. It was just a statement.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's just he said, she said. And
yeah, I went away for it, and then yeah, she moved out like the Monday or Tuesday. She moved out in the early week, and by the end of the week, she was back, like with her mom, like clearing out all of her shit. And then when I said, okay, like bye, because we had played that game before where she left, she would always come back.
Yeah.
Well, most of the time she would leave, I would beg her to come back, and she would come back. And then we'd make it another 2 or 3 weeks. and then she would leave, and then I'd beg her to come back, and and then I just didn't beg her to come back.
What kind of stuff were y'all arguing about?
Everything.
Just normal.
Just normal stuff.
People stuff.
And then being a recruiter, I talked to a lot of different people. So I had 2 phones, and I talked to a lot of females, and she didn't like that. But that was my job as a recruiter. I had to talk to everybody.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't like that. So then we'd argue about that. And then one time I just didn't ask her to come back. And she came back like 4 days later with her mom, and they cleared out like all of her stuff from the house.
So that was how far after your arrest for the domestic violence thing was that? Like a week or 2, or
No, that was in January. What made her go file in February? Who knows?
okay? But so she actually moved out when, in February, or even later than that?
She didn't permanently actually move out of that house until about April.
Okay.
But what kicked off the incident in January was she moved out.
Okay.
She moved out, took all her shit, came back, moved out again. I told her that time, just stay gone this time because I don't want you ruining my shit. You're ruining everything in my life. Please stay away. Came back like a week later with the police.
So you guys weren't married long at all.
2 months.
So it's kind of
2 months, and then we made it until fucking March. I called her the night. I know I wasn't supposed to. Don't care. Called her the night I got out of jail, and she sat there and cried on the phone. And she was like, "I didn't know that you were gonna go to jail." And I told her it's okay. You know, I forgive you. I'm a very forgiving guy. I don't give a shit. I can get over this. You know, I know who she was. She had the shortest fuse on the phone. It wasn't even a fuse. It was one of those things you just pull it. It just fucking explodes. That was her personality. That's the personality. That's the person I knew. And I told her it's okay. That's fine. I'll take you back. I don't care. Let's just move on. And that lasted about 2 more months. Probably till about the end of April into June. Or I guess that would have been May. Yeah. Like end of April into May. And she was like, that's when people started coming around the house. Like the Fountain Inn Police Department was like coming around the house looking for her. And I got nervous because I have a restraining order. So
right.
And I don't got family down here. She could leave. She could go to her mom's or her dad's and have some. I don't have anywhere to go. So I was sleeping in my car. Because I got a no contact order with her at work too. So I can get in trouble 2 different ways.
No way.
The military can put me on Fort Jackson. They can put me in jail in Fort Jackson for 30 days for breaking a no contact. And then I got an actual restraining order with the state. So I told her, I was like, you got to go. Like we can talk, and we'll keep that on the low. But you got to go now because they were coming to the house. Army investigators are coming to the house looking for her. Fountain Inn Police Department. So I was like, the one time they see you, they're gonna be like, "Hey, we got another conviction." Grab his ass. And I don't want to go through that because I've already been in that situation, and I don't feel safe in that situation. So she left in like April or May.
How was your guys' contact after that? I mean, did you?
We talked on and off. At first, it was real heavy because we were still like we're in a relationship. We're just not with each other. It wasn't until probably about June that it went to more once a week, and then once every other week, and then we just fought like once or twice, and then just completely broke contact. The only time I would hear from her after that is when she needed something, or when I assumed that she was like drinking or something, because she would text me random "I love yous" and stuff like that.
Would she ever like drive by your house or anything?
Yeah, and
just to see what you're doing. Or?
I saw her a couple times, just her car, and that could have been for a couple reasons. I mean, she could have been seeing somebody else in the neighborhood. I don't know, but I saw her car a couple times, and then I heard stories that she was like coming up to the door for my roommate and stuff. Come to like, my roommate got a cat. She wanted to come see the cat. She wanted to come see my dog, so she tried to get my roommate to take my dog out of the house.
Who's this, Crystal?
Yeah.
Okay.
So just hearing, she never came and bothered me. She never did that. She wouldn't like come and like, if I was there and like bang on the doors and shit. But she was still coming by the house. And I don't know why. But we broke contact because she was dating already. Like she's already been dating dudes. So I'm like, just move on. Like leave me alone.
All right.
But I still get random texts, in the morning. I look good today. I love you. Shit like that.
Was she trying to get back with you?
I couldn't really give you a good answer on that. My intention was to get back together with her.
Still? Really?
Yeah, at the end of this. Whenever my civil court was done, that's the last thing I told her, was that when this shit's all done and over with, I just want you to be there for me in that courtroom, and I will walk away from that courtroom with you.
When you say it's civil court, you talk about
The charge from
your
February.
criminal case?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was going on with the military? Were they waiting to see what happened with that?
Yeah.
So that's why they had you over on Bargery Street
Right.
kind of doing administrative stuff.
They
And then once that case got cleared, if it got cleared, then you'd
if
be reassigned, or
it was like dismissed, cleared, yeah, they would have just sent me on my way.
Mhm.
If something came of it, then they would have continued their investigation, see what they wanted to do about it.
Okay.
Probably just kick me out, more than likely.
is that? I mean, I've never been in the military, so I don't know how it works. But if you get charged with something serious enough, they just discharge you.
Most of the time, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, especially if it's a guilty verdict, they'll just dishonorably discharge you.
Okay.
So, and that's like the worst thing that could happen. It's like walking out the door with 2 felonies instead of 1.
And I'm sure it's a lot of pride issue too, right?
Yeah. I mean, 10 years of my life and 2 years in Iraq.
Yeah.
Walk out the door, but I mean, and I told her, I said, "F it, it's already done. They can do what they want." But the last thing I told her was when there's a disposition, if it's not guilty and I get to walk out of that courtroom, I want to walk out with you. And she said that was fine. She said that's good. That's what I want too. And that was like 2 months ago.
So what was the status with the case? How close was it coming to go to court, or
My lawyer got the solicitor to allow me to apply for PTI for the whole charge. So I got denied from that. I got denied from PTI. So now I'm just waiting. I haven't heard anything. I guess my thing went to the bottom of the pile again to recycle back to the top.
right? Yeah, it's a slow.
And it took from March to June to get, okay, let's apply for PTI.
Yeah.
And then, oh, by the way, we rejected you.
Is that a public defender or paid?
No, I was a paid lawyer. Yeah. Didn't want to take no chances with a felony charge.
I understand that. All right. Moving forward, so she moves out. You move Crystal and Brandon in to help out with bills or whatever.
It was pretty soon after they actually moved in. Yeah.
Okay. Any other roommates?
Hannah was living there for a little bit.
Hannah Thompson.
Yeah. While Katie was there, Hannah was going through some shit at home, so she asked Katie if she could move in. She said, yeah. We moved all her shit in. Wayne was still there, and then Wayne got. Well, then Katie left before Wayne got in his car accident. So she left, and then Wayne left, and then Crystal moved in, and then Hannah moved out. And now it's just us and Crystal.
Okay. How'd you guys meet Hannah? Was it a friend of Katie's or yours?
Friend of Cheyenne.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you and Cheyenne are pretty tight, right?
Well, you used to be.
Oh, you're not now because of this crowd.
Because of this, yeah.
Okay.
I haven't heard from Cheyenne. I tried to talk to Cheyenne on Tuesday. Tuesday was the last time I talked to Cheyenne, and then she just dropped me off the face of the planet. So, kind of shows who your real friends are.
Yeah.
When you ask somebody specifically for help because you are not in a good place and they blow you off completely, but they're out there having fun with friends.
Yeah.
She's not grieving right now. She's out partying right now. So you could at least text. She could at least text me back.
Yeah, I don't have an answer for that.
And then I already had to avoid the viewing. I had to go on Sunday by myself because her whole family was there. And if I can't even get Cheyenne, who lived with me and who I bought cars for and school books for and sent to and pushed to get a job and shit, if I can't trust her to be calm and level-headed, then how am I going to go to this viewing with her crazy-ass family there?
Right. So the viewing was Saturday, right?
Right. 2 to 4 on Saturday.
And when did you get?
I
to
went
go?
Sunday, 2:30 on Sunday.
Okay. So they just had a private thing for you?
Mhm.
Did you go by yourself? Or?
Yeah. Well, I took Hannah with me.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
How was that hard?
Yeah, because I mean, first of all, there's nobody there but me and her, so we're just kind of standing there staring at like Katie's nasty, like dirty, disgusting body because they didn't even wipe her ass down. And then we're just standing there like, I don't know what the fuck you say. I've been to a couple. I went to my own dad's viewing when I was like 15. I've seen people dead. I fucking dealt with shit before, and now there's nobody else there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind
There's
of
nobody else there
awkward
because
situation.
her family wants to be crazy about this shit. So I'm there by myself. I'm dealing with it by myself. I'm dragging her around because she's willing to be dragged around. To be there, you know. So I don't know. It's just been really stressful.
Yeah, I can imagine that. You've been able to go to work for the majority of it, I guess, or
Well, yeah, I've been going. I told him I don't want any time off because I don't do any work anyway. Do admin shit anyway. So, and
plus you'll just sit there and go crazy probably.
right, I don't want to just sit at home, stare at the walls. I don't have family here. Crystal works until 3. Brandon works until like 2:33. So I don't want to just be alone.
Yeah. Does Hannah work or where does she do?
She works in the mall. JCPenney's in the mall.
Now, does she live with you full time, or is it kind of?
It's on and off. She stays when she wants.
Okay. That night, somebody says you and Hannah were putting some trash from a bag, like a trash bag, in the back of the Prius.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember doing that?
Oh yeah.
What was that about?
Marley had like the most explosive shit on the floor and stunk up the whole house. I had to throw out like 4 towels. It was disgusting. And then Crystal left it for me to clean up. So, because it was like watery, nasty, I had to get like 3 or 4 towels to clean it up, plus the Swiffer, plus like dump bleach on the floor. So, yeah, it was pretty nasty.
Okay. So why'd you put it in the car?
To take it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, yeah, our trash is always filled up. We used to have this entertainment center. I just chopped it up, so it was like the trash can was full.
So you took that when you went to go to Zaxby's? Or?
Yeah, we were just gonna throw it out away.
Okay.
Just a dumpster.
All right. Do you have your phone with you that night?
Probably, yeah. Let's see why not.
I mean, you normally do.
Yeah, I normally do. I normally have my phone. Unless I'm going out with Martha, I have my phone.
Right.
Or I'm going hiking or something like that, I take my phone. Or leaving the car at least.
Do you ever turn your phone off during the day or at nighttime?
Only if it dies. Only if it dies out.
Do you have a charger at work for it? Or?
Sometimes. I carry one in my pocket. Sometimes I'll take it out when I go home and wash clothes or whatever.
You stay on a good bit during the day just to keep busy?
All day.
Facebook and
Yeah.
playing games.
Facebook games, other websites. Yeah.
They help pass the time, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a couple of questions. When we notified you that Wednesday morning, at work, myself and the bigger black fellow from the coroner's office, you never asked us, what had happened to Katie or how she died. Is there any reason?
Yeah, I've explained this to a few people because like 20 people asked me that day what happened. Mm-hmm. I feel like there's nothing that could bring me.
So you didn't really want to know? Yeah,
there's nothing that information would bring me in the moment. Like I said, I've experienced death. And,
in the military?
Yeah, and that's never really done for me to know. A good friend of mine, a lieutenant, was stabbed after he got out in the military. He was overseas in the Middle East for school. He was stabbed to death. Him and his wife were stabbed to death. That brought me no comfort finding that out. Knowing he was dead, I just had a friend recently kill himself, and I still don't know, and I still don't want to know. It doesn't matter, because that's the end state.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. They're already dead. How they died means nothing to me.
Okay.
So, and that's how I've been.
I've probably seen people, being in the military and seeing people die, probably gives you that outlook. So.
Yeah.
When was the last time you saw Katie face to face? And
I know.
And I'm not worried about this restraining order thing. Trust me, that's the least of our worries.
The last time I saw her was Cheyenne had a doctor's appointment, and Katie was there with her at the doctor.
Okay.
And I just coincidentally had a doctor's appointment at the same exact office. I just switched over to a new doctor, and they were leaving as I was checking out.
So when was that roughly?
2 or 3 months ago. I don't know. We could get an exact date.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the last time I saw her face to face. And I don't think she saw me until she was actually out the door. So we didn't talk or nothing.
Now she had been asking you for this paperwork for Jupiter, medical records or bills or something, or
medical records.
Okay. And what else? A bowl or a
bowl
leash or something?
A dog food bowl.
Dog food bowl. Had she called you one previous time and asked you to meet her, bring it?
She called me multiple times, asked me to bring her that stuff.
You said no.
Yeah. First of all, Marley uses that bowl, and he needs that bowl. And it's dog medical records. It's dog medical records. You could probably walk up there to
Yeah, it's not like
Hillcrest.
rules.
There's no rules and regulations for dog medical records. So if you want, I feel like she was just using it as an opportunity to see
to
me,
get you to come see her.
and it wouldn't have been the first time.
Right.
There's been so many emergencies that come up. I need to see you right now for this, just to get there and be like, "You want to smoke a cigarette?"
Yeah,
No.
that's typical.
So it wasn't the first time.
Let me ask, and some of these questions, I'm not looking to offend you, but it's questions that we need to get answered and cleared up.
Okay.
Did Katie have any kind of life insurance policy?
Through the military, yeah, she's automatically enrolled.
Okay.
Same as my daughter.
So what is the military's thing called? Or is it?
FSGLI, Family Service Group Life Insurance.
Is that something you get for free, or you got to pay for
I pay monthly $5.
it? Okay.
But like I said, once you're enrolled in it's called DEERS, the Defense Enrollment Eligibility Services. Once you're enrolled in that, you're automatically enrolled in life insurance. So her health insurance, her life insurance, her dental, it's all wrapped up into one thing.
She was still covered under your medical and all that?
Legally, because we're married.
Okay, so until you get
we get divorced, actually divorced. Yeah.
Well, that's a pretty good deal for her.
Yeah, because she was still under my health insurance.
How much was her life insurance policy? Do you know?
It's $5 for $100,000.
Okay.
And then it's
So is that
$5
like
for
the base?
10,000 for kids.
Okay. So that was like 100,000's the base? Or?
Yeah, that's the base. Doesn't go higher or lower as far as I know.
Did she have one on you, or did you have one for her?
I had the automatic one on her. I don't know what she is. I can't imagine what she had one on me.
So yeah.
I
don't know if she
I automatically have one.
through the military.
Yeah,
Okay.
mine's 500,000,
Oh, really?
and she gets that big just because she's married to me.
Mhm.
So, and I pay $21 for that,
Mhm.
and that's like automatic. If I ever have somebody, even if I'm not married, it's still covered. I still have to put somebody's name down. Like it's
So you put mom or dad.
Right,
Or whatever.
yeah. Now it's under my ex-wife and my daughter in case I die.
Take care of your daughter. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. Who was it under before?
It's always been my ex-wife and my daughter.
Just so
Because-
you make sure she take care of it.
Yeah, that's one person I know for sure that I have to take care of is my daughter.
Yeah, that's respectable. I'm a dad. She's a
Yeah.
mom, so we understand that.
Yeah, and I explained that to Katie when we got married. Like, sorry, bud, but
So Katie knew. Did Katie know about the policy on her?
Yeah.
Okay.
I imagine
Yeah. I don't know.
she might not even, because of her time in the military when she was in the reserves or whatever.
Mhm.
They might have taken her off my policy because if you're dual military, then one of those people doesn't have an automatic policy.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So since we were dual military, I don't even think that she was enrolled anymore. Because, yeah,
But she wasn't current military now, right?
No. she didn't make it through training.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she made it like 4 or 5 weeks. She got injured. She like fell over in the obstacle course and it jacked her lower back all up. She had like something with like her lower back. It was like at an angle that was like bad.
Okay. So it has.
They medically discharged her.
So that was a pretty quick career.
Pre-existing condition, dumped her out.
So has the insurance? So no insurance companies have contacted you to
No,
let you know about any kind of policy? I know a lot of times they'll do it pretty quick. Okay. Have you ever, and it would probably jokingly, I would assume, made a statement to any of your friends about wanting to kill Katie?
No.
Ever said, well, if Katie dies, we'll get some money or we'll have money to do anything with?
no,
Have you ever gone up to any friends and said, hey, would you do me a favor and take my car, take my keys, my debit card, my phone, and go away for the weekend to Charleston, say, and that'll make it look like I'm out of town so I can kill Katie?
no.
Okay. So if somebody told us that, they're making that up?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the same type of shit that's been coming out her family's mouth for the last fucking 2 weeks. And I'm getting kind of sick of it because I don't feel safe in my house anymore. There's cars parked out front of my house during the nighttime. And I know I got PTSD and I know I'm fucking watching them, but there's cars parked out front of my house. There's people driving by. And that's the type of shit, that's the narrative right there that's going to get me fucking in trouble with some crazy motherfucker driving down and shooting up my house in the middle of the night. Or somebody called my fucking ex-wife yesterday. Somebody called my ex-wife yesterday.
Who's?
And that's got me scared.
What's her name?
You talked to her yesterday. But
Catherine.
yeah, that's got me scared because my kid's there. And how did somebody get her number from here? How does somebody get her number from here? And then not just from here, not just from Simpsonville, but from some private number called her, blocked called her, so they can find my kid now. And that's shit that's got me fucking paranoid, pissed off. Because I can't sleep at night because I think something's gonna happen to my house. That's all I got. So people say, "Oh, it's just stuff." Well, if my house burns down, what stuff do I have? I get a check from the insurance company for $100 grand to pay off the house, but I'm still sitting homeless.
Almost, yeah.
So
this pressure is coming from Katie's family?
Yeah, it was on Facebook. We got pictures. We got screenshots. This shit was on Facebook. People were giving out my address. People can't walk to my house the other night. People walked to my house the other night. Or standing out front of my house.
Do you recognize them or no?
No, they were from Facebook. Okay. Crystal got in this argument with this guy on Facebook, and he's like, "I know where you live. I can come there right now." What the fuck? Come here right now. Because that makes me unsafe. I got to barricade my front door because now you're telling people to come by my house, and her mom's been telling people to come by my house. They're trying to spin this story against me, and it's got me terrified. It's got me scared.
Do you have any idea who?
No, absolutely not. It's ridiculous and it's scary as fuck. But I can't even be scared for Katie right now. Because I know Katie wouldn't want me in this situation. She knows I'm gonna be scared as hell.
Are you talking about your ex-wife, Katie?
I'm talking about Katie.
The one that died.
Yeah. She knows that I'll be like this, be paranoid like this.
All right. Some people told us that recently they got in the back seat of your car and something had been spilled, and they were told, hey, don't touch that.
And I told Cheyenne, I just spilled iced tea right there. Don't sit in that. The iced tea bottle is probably still in the back of my car right now.
Okay. That was in the back seat?
Yeah.
How'd you spill it in the back seat?
I just drink it and toss it.
Oh, okay.
I ain't the cleanliest person. I clean out my car once a week, twice a week, the most.
Okay.
Trash all over my inside of my car right now.
Okay.
And her fucking family's the ones putting that in her head because she was at my house on Tuesday. Just fine. Helping. We were both just fine, just talking to each other. Dirtbag family.
Well, you got to understand right now they're going through a lot too.
I'm trying to understand, but I'm going through the same fucking shit. I lost a friend. Maybe not the best wife, but I lost a friend. She would always been my friend. We would have always been the worst married couple on the planet, but she was always going to be my friend.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes people make great friends but terrible lovers or whatever.
Right. That's the way we've seen it. We just the worst couple. But we were always the best friends. It's not until you started bringing the relationship back into it that we start arguing with each other. I got plenty of text messages where we're just nice to each other, just talking about our day.
Yeah.
But then, one of us would be like, "So you're gonna come home? And, what are you doing right now?" And then it would escalate to, "We can't be in a relationship. We can't do this and that." So it's just got me stressed out too. Nobody gets it.
So when she was asking for the paperwork for the dog and stuff, had you decided you were going to give it to her and meet up, or no?
Told her to go fuck herself.
Okay. Just because something she could go do herself.
Yeah.
She could buy another dog bowl.
Yeah, she works there. You tell me you pass by 1,000 dog bowls a day, you can't borrow one, you can't take one. And then what the fuck have you been eating out since June? He needs this bowl.
That's true. Yeah. So it's more of a thing, just a way to get you. Or
yeah, I really think
harp on you about.
Sometimes, and Krista will tell you because she's seen her do it, is that sometimes she would make up a scenario or say she needs something just to get close because she can reel me back in. She's real good at it. So,
she had a Ford Fiesta. Have you ever been in that car?
I think once, yeah. She brought it by the house one time, but it was a while ago.
Did you get in it, or?
Yeah, because that's when she first bought the shit, and I knew I was paying for it, so I got to see it. But,
okay.
And the last time she brought Jupiter by the house a couple times, and it's always been in that car.
Okay, but so did you get in it, or?
I've been in it, yeah.
Okay. So when was that, roughly?
Oh, I don't know. Like I said, that's when she used to come by the house and tell me she was coming with Jupiter, take him out.
So would that have been like July, August?
Yeah, it had to have been.
Okay.
June, July, August. Because she stopped coming around because I stopped playing the game. Mostly. I just told her, like, I'm not playing the game anymore. I'm done playing with you. Because I already knew that she was dating a guy, but she was still trying to get back with me. She's already dating this dude named Bill. And then she was dating some dude before that, and then she was dating some other dude. And I'm like, just be with them.
Did that piss you off?
Mm-mm.
Oh, wait, you had Hannah, right?
Well, yeah, me and Hannah were dating. Not really. But, you know, she was living with me. So.
Yeah. So for all intents and purposes, Katie thought you two were together.
Right. And there's nothing I could have said otherwise. So.
Oh, yeah, I mean.
And then Cheyenne told her entire family that me and Hannah were dating. So then that's the story. We're dating. Doesn't matter what I say. So then, since Hannah moved out back with her parents, no, I would say that I'm not dating anybody.
Okay. I don't know how much you know about cell phones and stuff like that, but as you go around, your cell phone's constantly
Picking on the tower,
searching for signals and stuff like that.
Right.
So with that said, is there anything, going back to last Monday, is there anything that you've told me that your cell phone records would say otherwise?
I don't believe so.
Okay. You don't believe so, or definitely not?
Definitely not.
Okay.
There's a difference.
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
It's tiny, small. What if I told you that your cell phone did ping somewhere other than where you say you were?
Then I'd also say that her cell phone pinged in West Virginia.
Yeah, that ended up being a AT&T mishap. They plugged in the wrong phone number.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. What if I told you that Charles Scott's phone number pinged in the same area that yours did and not around Zaxby's?
When?
Monday night.
He's got freedom of moving on him. We can call him. You can ask him.
Okay.
But I'm not in control of that man, and I do not take any charge over him because that dude is a lost cause.
Yeah.
I want my $350,
Here we go.
and I would like to change my phone number. If I could move, I would move.
Is there any physical evidence that we're either going to find in that abandoned house, on Katie's body, or on any of her clothing, or in her car, that is going to link you to her death?
I don't believe so, no. Definitely not.
Okay. And you understand DNA evidence it's the new thing.
100%.
It's not new, but it's okay. And it's pretty accurate.
Seems cold case files, all that kind of stuff.
Right, yeah. So I just don't want to have to go back in a couple weeks when we get all these results and say, well, John said there ain't no way this could have happened. But so if you did get together last week and have sex or go take the dog for a walk, and that's how your hair could have gotten in her car or something like that, then we need to know that now so we don't have to explain it later.
Yeah, I understand.
So there should be nothing on her body from you.
Right.
Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say.
Okay. So no hairs, no touch DNA.
I can't imagine.
Okay. Because you understand, if I touch Investigator Manley's hand and they come and swab her hand, they're going to get my DNA off.
Right. Fingerprints, sweat.
Right. And that stuff can't be denied. It's, as accurate as a fingerprint, your DNA profile. So I just want to make sure that we're not going to get any surprises.
Right. Yeah.
And these DNA tests take time. It's not like, it is on CSI.
It's not CSI.
I wish it was.
You don't put it in a computer.
Exactly. So,
left and right.
But I've had cases before where we've asked somebody something and they said, nope, absolutely not. And then we do get results that match them. And they're like, oh, well, there was this time that such and such. So we have to, eliminate all that now.
Right. Understood.
Okay. Would you, what we've been doing is offering polygraph tests. We've polygraphed a couple people already.
Mm-hmm.
And we're using that as a tool to eliminate people.
Okay.
And once we eliminate people, that means we can kind of narrow down our search. And it helps us so we're not wasting time looking at people that we don't need to be looking at.
Right.
Would you be willing to take a polygraph so we can go ahead and do that with you and eliminate you and start looking elsewhere?
I have to talk to my lawyer about that first.
Okay.
See what he says, because I don't know about that at all.
Yeah. Well, it's nothing that can be used in court. It's a tool we use.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like DNA is a tool. Fingerprints are a tool. Interviews are a tool.
Right.
So That's something I would like to, see if you'd be willing to do, so that we could get past you and start looking,
Okay.
For somebody else.
Well, I'll give him a call tomorrow, and then he'll set something up.
Okay. Is there any information or any questions I haven't asked you that any information you have that might help us?
I mean, y'all know about this house, though. Y'all know about the abandoned house, because all the news I got is from the media, and they're painting this house as like some house that they knew of, they used to go to, and all this kind of shit. This was an active, like, spot to go and.
Yeah, the news kind of screwed up and said it was a high school hangout. But I know they've been going to it.
I mean, it's a high school hangout, but
it's their current hangout.
Katie's hangout too. Okay, as long as you know, because this news story has been spinning it.
The news screws things up big time.
Yeah, and
we can tell them that the sky was blue and it was 70 degrees, and they'll say it was cloudy and 30.
Right.
How they
I just
screw
wanted
up,
to make sure y'all knew that she had been there a few times with more than just recent friends. She's been there with new guys and stuff like that. I don't know what her family's told you. Hopefully, Cheyenne's been upfront with you, but she's been dating around a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking into some of that,
Okay.
and trying to see if maybe she came across somebody that,
Yeah.
There's a lot of cookies.
Because she was on Tinder, and Tinder's just a face. You can make a Tinder profile.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So she's been on Tinder. I know that for a fact. I saw her on there.
Have you driven Katie's car lately?
No.
Okay.
I've never driven her car. I just sat in it the one time.
On the passenger seat? Or?
I think it was a passenger seat.
What about Charles?
I don't think they met.
Oh, he's never even met her.
I don't think he's met her.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Are you familiar with where White Horse Road is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I've taken it. It's 25, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then yeah, I know where it's at.
Do you know where Augusta Road and it meets? It's like Augusta Road turns into 291.
I don't know where Augusta Road is. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, that's fine.
Not from here. 291 is Pleasantburg. 25, the only way I know 25 is because when I drive out to Easley, I take, because I start in Greenville.
Mhm.
So when I'm going through Easley, I cross over 25, and there's a Sphinx that I normally get the cars washed at.
Okay. So this Monday night that we were talking about, around 6:15, sometime around that time frame, can you think of any reason your phone would show that you were in that area of Augusta Road and White Horse Road?
No.
Is there any reason you and Charles were talking a lot that evening?
Yeah, because that's the night that he was here. That's the night he was available.
Mhm.
So that's the night I needed my
So you'll be on video at Zaxby's meeting him and eating?
I was eating. He was in Zaxby's, yeah.
All right, so you guys will both be on video?
Mhm.
Okay. What time was that roughly?
I don't know. Whatever time you said earlier.
Well, you said it was dark?
Yeah, it was dark.
Okay, so dark is about 7-ish or so?
Yeah.
And that's the Zaxby's on Fairview Road?
Mhm.
Okay. Just to help us remember to find you, do you remember what you're wearing?
Oh, hell no. I normally wear jeans and a long sleeve or I mean, I can tell you the rest of it now. It's right next to the drink machine.
Okay.
So.
And Hannah was in there with you?
Mhm.
So it'll be white guy, white girl, black guy.
Mhm.
So he did sit down.
You know what he looks like? He's light skinned. He's
Yeah.
got a ratty ass mustache, shaved head, not shaved, bald, but short.
Okay.
And he normally wears a Baltimore hat. He's got a Baltimore Ravens hat. But I'm pretty sure I could get him. Well, he probably ain't gonna come up here because he's trying to duck and dodge y'all anyway.
Why is that?
Because he thinks he has a warrant for his arrest because he's an idiot. And I told him, call some people and find out, but he refuses to listen to reason.
Now, usually, if you got a warrant, you turn yourself in. They'll work with you a little bit.
That's what I told him because when he took my car, I had to report the shit stolen because he crashed it, and I didn't tell him to take it.
Right.
So to me, that's stolen. So I had to do that, and they I had to press charges on him so I could get the insurance to pay for my car. So.
Okay.
I think he's like ducking and dodging right now.
Yeah. What do you have, Cheryl?
On your way to Zaxby's, you said you dropped the bag of trash off.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you dump it at?
I don't know. Probably. I think it was an apartment complex. because you know they have the big dumpsters.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the exact location though.
Like down Harrison Bridge. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, like Watertown and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I think it. I don't remember. It was a long day.
Okay.
So
And then where did you go after Zaxby's?
I think I just went home.
With Hannah?
Yeah.
And where's
I
Scott
might
go?
have taken her home. I think that. I think I took her back to her parents' house, and then I just went home. I don't hang out with that dude. It's not. So.
Now, some people said that car that they identified as Katie's was seen pulling into your driveway around 5 o'clock that window.
Crystal told me that. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what the deal is with that?
Mm-mm. And Crystal told me about that. But like we said, that's a normal move on her part.
Right.
So that really wasn't too much of a concern. I didn't even follow up. I didn't text her or anything when she did that shit. So.
Well, if that was her, why would she back out really fast?
I don't know.
Because you said she'd try and stop by.
I'm
and
not
see
trying to
the
read her
cat.
mind, so.
No, I understand. But you said that she would stop by and try and see the cat or stop by and bring Jupiter. When
Right.
was that? Do you know?
I don't know.
Like back in the summer or here
Whatever I said
recently?
the first time.
Okay. And then what happened Tuesday? What was your day like on Tuesday? Did you go to work?
Tuesday, yeah, I went to work. I've been to work every day since.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember talking to Cheyenne at all on Tuesday?
That's the day Cheyenne stayed the night. Yeah.
Oh, so she spent the night with you on Tuesday night? Okay.
I'm trying to think because I'm getting like Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday all spun up because I don't remember those days very well. I was really fucked up last week. Like my head was gone. I couldn't concentrate, and I wasn't sleeping. So I'm just thinking. I think Tuesday her and Kimani came and spent the night.
And that was after everybody knew that Katie was missing?
I think, yeah.
When did you catch wind that Katie was missing? Was it when
Cheyenne called me.
That was before
Mm-hmm.
Moorcraft came and talked to you? And that was Monday, right?
Uh-huh.
Monday?
No, Tuesday afternoon.
Tuesday?
Tuesday afternoon, you came to the house?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tuesday morning at 1:30 in the morning, Cheyenne called me. Said, "Have you heard from Katie?" And obviously it's 1:30 in the morning, so I said, "No, go away. I'm sleeping." And then I talked to Cheyenne like throughout the day. Katie's missing, and then I was like, "Well, do you want to come stay and like we can like." We went out looking for her.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you guys look at?
We went to this house on Scuffletown Road because one of her family members was like, "I found her phone and it's here."
At a house on Scuffletown Road?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you remember what house that was?
No, it's probably in a text message to Cheyenne.
What family
is it?
member told you they found her phone?
8 something. Cheyenne told me
Cheyenne told you that
that one of her family members.
found the phone?
Yeah.
And what happened at the house at Scuffletown?
We knocked on the door and said, "Do you know Katie?" And he was like, "No." We're like, "Okay, bye." And her car wasn't there, nothing like that, so we left.
Did you look anywhere else?
It was late by that point, so we just kind of went home. And then I asked her if she could stay because I was, at that point, her mom put up that Facebook message with all my information on there. So I asked Cheyenne if she could stay with me, just as like a peace of mind. It's just to ease my mind because I figured nobody's gonna fuck with me if they think Cheyenne's here too. So I had Cheyenne come stay. She left in the middle of the night. I think that was Tuesday. It was Tuesday.
And you said Kamani spent the night too, so was he searching with you that night too?
Yeah, he was in the car too.
And did you ever think to check the abandoned house that night?
Cheyenne told me she already checked it. She told me she had been there and she already checked it. So I was like, well, fuck it then.
And what time did you and Cheyenne meet up that night? Do you remember?
It must have been after he came to the house. So I don't know.
Because he came there around 4:30ish.
It was probably soon after.
And did she just come to your house, or did you meet up with her somewhere else? Or
She was working. She was at work, and that's when. So it had to be 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, because she was at work, and I went to go see her at work, and I was gonna try and get a table in her section, so I just could see her and talk to her. And when I got there, they said that she was getting off. So then me, Kimani, and Hannah went to Sonic, ate some food or whatever, and waited for Cheyenne. Then she came, and we were like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? So we took Kimani to home to get some clothes. She walked home to get some clothes. And then when she came back, that's when she was like, my aunt, I think she said, found her phone on Scuffletown Road. She's like, I have the address. And I was like, let's go. So we drove out there, and it was just some guy. He didn't know what the fuck was going on. He had like 2 regular ass cars. Her car wasn't there. So we were like, okay, I guess that's it for us. And we left out. So, but by that time, it was pretty late because she didn't get out of work. Actually, get out of work until like 10. So at that point, I had to work the next day. So
You just went back home.
yeah, normally I'm an early to bed kind of guy.
And you and Katie still talked off and on once a week, twice a week. You said.
We used to.
And you know that she worked at PetSmart.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what kind of hours she kept or anything?
Hell no.
her
So I know
normal
she used
routine?
to work 3rd, and then recently she switched. But her hours have always kind of been different. Like, I knew when she was working 3rd, it was like 10 to 7 or some shit like that. But I don't know her recent hours.
I'm just gonna ask you point blank. Did you kill Katie?
No.
Okay. Do you know who killed her?
No.
This polygraph would really help us. It's not admissible in court, like I said. It's nothing that you take could be used against you. They're not going to ask you about other off the wall stuff. They're going to ask you direct questions related to her being killed. And the quicker we can get rid of you as a suspect, we've already, like I said, we've done other polygraphs with other people, so it's not like we're targeting on you.
Yeah.
If we were, we wouldn't have waited a week and a day before we brought you in here. So
that's what everybody's been telling me. So it's that's got my head kind of straight. I've just been paranoid, man. Paranoid. I already got drug out of my house one time for not committing a crime. So, and I think I told you that when I sat down with you.
Yeah, I've read the reports and stuff. I mean, I'm not saying the cops always do things right.
And I'm glad that this is here, not in Fountain Inn.
Yeah, I understand.
You know, because y'all are completely different.
Y'all
just face value are different.
They play by different rules, so it's almost like a different country. Do you have your cell phone with you? What kind of phone do you have?
I got the V10, the LG V10.
Okay.
V10, yeah.
Does that have a lock code on it, or how do you?
Yeah, it's got a lock on it.
Is it like a number lock, or? Do you mind telling me what the number lock is?
Yes, I do. That's my pin for everything. I'm not going to tell you that.
Okay.
Next thing I know, you taking out $20 on the bank.
No.
That's all I got.
I'm a pretty honest guy. It's when it comes to money.
That's all I got right now is my $20. I need gas money.
One of the things that we're doing with people is getting swabs from their mouth. It's basically skin cell samples that we use to create a DNA profile.
Right.
It's just basically a big Q-tip, swab it on the inside of the mouth, and then submit that to create a DNA profile to compare to evidence that we get. Are you okay with that?
I'll talk to my lawyer about it, yeah.
Okay. Well, what we've been doing with people is we've been getting search warrants to get them. That way we don't have to mess around with, I do or I don't, or I need to call my mom or, stuff like that. So I've got a search warrant to get your DNA.
Okay.
Like I said, you're not the first one. I can show you, other people we've gotten it from.
That's fine. I'm not going to fight a warrant. I'm not going to fight the court.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of those things. A couple other things. We do have a warrant for your phone. So I need you to turn that over.
Oh, man. Can I text my boss?
You can write down a phone number and call them, but I can't let you make any calls or any texts.
Okay.
All right, you got all the numbers you need?
I'm just waiting for it to lock.
Okay, all right, go ahead. I need the phone. So like I said, we got a search warrant.
Okay.
Okay, so go ahead and hand the phone over to me.
Where's the warrant at?
Oh, it's right here. You'll get a copy of it in just a second.
I just want to see it before I give up my shit.
Search warrant for your phone.
I'm sorry, I watch TV too.
Last time, list your phone number.
Cell phone.
Like color cell phone, unknown manufacturer, belonging to John Blauvelt, gives your date of birth, and the assigned telephone number. And it's signed by Judge Dean Ford.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
The affiant is currently investigating the murder of Catherine Ann Blauvelt, which occurred on or about 10/24/2016. The victim's body was located in the basement of an abandoned residence at 817 Southeast Main Street. An autopsy determined the victim's manner of death to be a homicide. The affiant and other investigators have conducted multiple interviews with friends, family, and acquaintances of the victim and her estranged husband, John Tufton Blauvelt. These interviews have yielded multiple statements in which the interviewees stated John Blauvelt has made comments about his desire to kill the victim and his plan to hide her body in the house located at 817 Southeast Main Street. The affiant also has recorded statements from witnesses who say John Blauvelt had approached them and offered them monetary compensation for assisting him in murdering the victim and offering him an alibi by using his cell phone, debit cards, and vehicle in another city to make it appear as if he was not in the area at the time of the victim's death. The affiant has also compiled police reports from the Fountain Police Department that show John Blauvelt was arrested in February 2016 for domestic violence first degree, where he was alleged to have pointed a gun at the victim. And threatened her life. John Blauvelt had a pending criminal charge that if he was found guilty would most likely result in his discharge from the U.S. Army where he's employed full-time. Blauvelt has made statements to multiple persons about the existence of a life insurance policy he holds on the victim for between $100,000 and $150,000 in which he is the beneficiary. The affiant has obtained recorded statements from witnesses that state the victim's vehicle was driven to the residence of John Blauvelt at 10 South Kings Drive in Fountain Inn, South Carolina on 10/24/16 at 4:56 p.m. This is the day the victim disappeared and was last seen alive. The witnesses describe the driver as someone other than the victim and state that the driver was wearing a black jacket with the hood pulled over. The witnesses stated 15 minutes after the victim's vehicle pulled out from the residence, John Blauvelt came up from the backyard sweating profusely and was wearing a black hooded jacket similar to the one of the person driving the victim's vehicle. Blauvelt did not have a shirt on underneath the jacket and claimed to have been running. The victim's vehicle was later located at 335 White Horse Road in Greenville, South Carolina, at a strip shopping center. Video surveillance from the area shows the vehicle being dropped off on 10/24/2016 at approximately 6:15 p.m. The second vehicle pulls up with the victim's vehicle and it matches the description of John Blauvelt's 2007 gold Toyota Prius. The second vehicle drives off after approximately 5 minutes with the driver of the victim's vehicle. Cell phone records from John Blauvelt's phone number, 856-419-3312, obtained from AT&T, place his phone in the area of 335 White Horse Road at the time the victim's vehicle was dropped off. It is the affiant's belief, based upon the aforementioned evidence, that the 2007 Toyota Prius belonging to John Blauvelt contains evidence related to the death of Catherine Blauvelt. Okay, do you have any questions about the wording of that warrant?
Do you have to take the car? You're going to take my car?
Yes.
All right. No, I got no questions.
Okay, all right, that's a copy of that warrant.
Yes, sir.
You want me to read the all that for these two, or do they all say the same thing?
It's all basically the same. Do you want her to read these warrants so you're going to get copies of them?
That's all for the swabs.
Yeah, for the
Swabs
swabs
and
and the cell phone. Do you want me to read out the probable cause section just like he was?
If it's the same, you're good.
It is. Having heard the affidavits
Yes, sir.
and the evidence that is mentioned in those, do you want, is there anything you want to say?
No, sir.
Okay.
There's a crack on the screen of the phone. Don't put that in the thing. I'm gonna try and get a new phone.
Yeah.
I'm just playing.
What kind of phone is it?
This is a LG V10. It was sold to me. Put it like that. I didn't plan on getting a phone like that.
Does it do anything special other than the
No,
just a regular phone?
regular phone. It's got a really nice camera on it. I wish I sent that text message to Australia.
What text message?
She hadn't talked to me since Tuesday, and then I told her I was going through some shit. My PTSD was bothering me and stuff like that. And she just decided to completely blow me off. So that shit kind of hurts.
You said you wish you hadn't sent her that
I wish
message?
I had.
Sent her what message?
She sent a thumbs up a few hours ago.
A few hours ago today?
Yeah.
In response to what?
In response to nothing, she just sent me a thumbs up. And I was like, what the?
her, okay, fuck off. You can't leave somebody out to dry for 4 days and then come
Give
back
him my cell phone.
and then be like, thumbs up, we're cool.
That's what that meant?
Either, because if you send somebody a thumbs up, you're sarcastic as hell. Okay. Like
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
It's just that it's been 4 days since I talked to her. So, I don't know. I mean, you're a female, you can tell me. What's a thumbs up mean 4 days later?
Is it in response to something, or like on a picture, or? I have no idea.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
So she hasn't talked to you, and then all of a sudden she sends that to you.
She hadn't talked to me since Tuesday.
And you said you wish you had sent her a message. Well, what
I
would
wish
you?
I had sent her the message because I typed out a big ass message like, you can't drop people like that. You can't drop friends like that, and then 4 days later be like, oh, we're cool. No, dude. Not when people really have shit going on in their head. Not when people are really like. I was there for her, you know, and she made no attempt to be there for me. I went through the same shit everybody else went through. And she didn't make no attempt to be it. Nobody told me about the viewing. I had to find out all this shit on my own. And then you want to come back to me and be like, hey, we're cool. No, we're not. That's hurts, man. Everybody knows I ain't got no family. Just me.
What was Hannah's response when you guys were at the viewing?
Just kind of taken aback. I mean, that was one of her friends too. Katie brought her in when she actually got her house. That was Katie's idea. So, I mean, they were close. They were real close for like months. And then,
Even after she left?
even after Katie left, no.
Yeah.
Because then Katie told me I was sleeping with him. So then once she got that in her head, she stopped talking to me. Or every time Hannah would come up, it would be like a big thing. But me and Hannah have been good friends just because I worry about people. That's who I am. So I've been pushing her back to school and shit like that. So, like today, she was trying to enroll in Greenville Tech.
And she just wanted to come with you to the viewing?
Yeah, because she knew with Cheyenne there, and whatever Katie's been telling her family, we didn't want to be a burden. You know, it's not like we would have done shit. We would have showed up, given our respects, maybe hung out in the back for a little bit and left. But it's that feeling, that burden. Like if we really, really don't like somebody and they're just in your presence and you just feel like maybe they're just here to piss me off or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know Katie didn't like her, and I know Katie told her parents all kinds of stories about me. So who knows what she said about her? So I was like, let's avoid the whole thing. You can come with me on Sunday.
Okay.
And then Crystal went on Saturday. So there's a lot of people when I drove by.
Cut the recorder off. Is there anything else you want to say before we finish up the interview?
Me?
Yeah.
The time is now 4:59 p.m.
After this interview concluded, John and his 17-year-old girlfriend at the time, Hannah Thompson, went on the run. Hannah Thompson decided to go back home approximately 1 month later, providing investigators with crucial evidence of John's whereabouts. On July the 20th of 2022, 6 years later, U.S. Marshals and other law enforcement agencies arrested John Blauvelt at a house in Medford, Oregon. He was returned to face a South Carolina jury. Thompson was also the lead witness in this tragic story against John Blauvelt. He would be convicted and sentenced to life in prison without parole.